So Liraz,
What's up?
we're the same age, believe it or not. You look amazing.
Really?
Yes.
You are 44? Oh my God, you don't
I'm
look
43.
44.
I think you're like maybe 6 months older or something like that. But I was like, oh my God, she's like
Wow.
my twin. We're soul sisters. Like this is happening.
You look much more young than 43. Oh my
No,
God.
I don't think so. And I have a lot of help in this space. Trust me. I always like to joke I haven't moved my face in 15 years. So
Okay, you have
all
to
right.
teach me some.
So we don't I don't want to like, take this and drag this out too much, but I really want to kind of deep dive into it. So I did some research on you. I watched your other podcasts, and I know that parents immigrated Iran to Israel in the mid 60s and early 70s. Is that correct?
Yes,
Why
exactly.
did they do that? Why did they leave Iran?
Most of all because they've been very Zionist, and they had a hard time being Jewish and be proud of it outside. I mean, my mom was asked to go to read from the Quran when she was a teenager, and it was a tough decision for her to do that. Then she came to her parents and said, that's it, I had enough from hiding the fact that I'm Jewish. So they decided that they're moving. That's it.
That's very funny because my husband still to this day can recite the Quran, and all of my family that was in Iran, they recite the Quran, and I think they all had to do that. So let me ask you a question, because again, I know that you described that you felt almost a hole in your heart, not being as connected to your Persian culture. And I remember when I came to America, all I wanted to do was fit in, because I came to America when I was 7 years old. We escaped from Iran. It was this whole dangerous situation. But I just remember the simplest things, like I was sitting in class in the first grade, and the blonde girl in front of me put her hair in a ponytail, and it was so smooth. And I was like, I just wish I was blonde. Like, I wish I was white. And so I feel like personally, I kind of went on this journey of assimilation and trying to fit in. And I know you said there's not that many Persians in Israel. So what was it like growing up Persian in Israel?
It was very, very strange to explore anything about my roots, because I had my family, my mom's family, my father's family, and that's it. We did not have like neighborhood of Iranian Persian people. I did not have any place to, explore my roots, to dig in and to find new things. It was, the music was the same, the food was great, but the same, and the stories were more of the same. And when I really wanted to know more about my my parents' land, and what happened in the past, I opened the television and I saw the opposite of they've been telling us. I saw extreme regime and Ahmadinejad, and people are fighting for their freedom, and women that's been muted. It was crazy for me. So for me, I did not want it to be this Persian girl. I wanted to be the Israeli one, but I couldn't, because in my home I was very, very, very Persian good girl. And I always say that when I used to walk from home to school, it's like I switched identities. I became other person when I was in school. I was wild artist. I wanted to be, on stage. It was very, very easy for me to connect to my friends and the teachers. And at home, I was supposed to be the way I was supposed to be. I was a good Persian girl, and it was tough. It was tough to find the line that connects these extreme two characters.
So the messaging that you got from your parents about Iran was a positive message? Like, did they say,
Definitely.
I want to go? It was, okay, because I feel like for us, I think it was so traumatic the way that we left, that the messaging I get is like, when the fruit tastes really good, they'll be like, oh, the fruits is just like the orchards of Iran, but if I ask them, do you want to go back? They're like, no, I never want to go back.
Yeah, because you left during after the revolution.
Yes.
And my parents, they had a good taste of Iran, and I guess you were escaped this crazy situation. So it's a bitter taste to live like that.
Exactly. And so what I guess I'm trying to hear from you, because I'm right now having I felt a very easy connection to Israel. Israel supports us. Israel has always been there for us. Israel has our, at our core values is the root of who we are. And so for me, the connection, even though I hadn't been to Israel, Liraz, in 26 years, I just went this summer and I hadn't been since I was 16. It's just life got busy. I know, it's just life got busy, but here I am, on social media, iron doming for Israel. And I hadn't even been in a really long time, but I felt that connection because of the support that we receive from there. Now, everything happening in Iran now, I'm sort of in a place where I'm trying to find that connection, and I'm trying to, find the connection with my people, with the music. I was at a bar mitzvah a couple weeks ago, and when the Persian music came on, it hit me differently. I felt a deeper connection to the Persian music because of how I see the Iranian population standing up right now and rejecting this extremism. But before that, I have to be honest, not that I didn't have any interest, but it was just, I felt like, why am I supporting a land that rejected my people? So, but what was by studying your story and seeing how you felt a hole and kind of seeked out the music and Iranian artists. And I know you have 2 albums out right now, 𝐼𝐻 and 𝐬𝐮. So it was just interesting that you seeked it out, whereas I subconsciously was rejecting it. So tell me more about that, how you had seeked it out.
I was rejecting it since I was a teenager, but actually when I walked in the streets of Tehran in Los Angeles, I was participating in Hollywood movies, and I had a very nice ongoing career. And I thought, okay, this is going to be my life. But I felt something is really empty inside because I was, blocking my Iranian roots. I wanted to be Israeli. I wanted to work in America. I thought I had it all, but it was still, this hole was very, very empty, and it was like a wound in my heart, I can say. And I was trying to fix it in so many ways, but it did not work. And I think we're becoming to some age that we cannot go one step forward if we're not digging in and going back and understanding where we came from. Apparently you struggle to be American because you arrived to Los Angeles when you were 7, and it's, you built yourself as a human being, as a little girl. You wanted to be like everybody. You wanted to be like an American beautiful girl. I understand you. But the minute you're growing up and you're becoming a mother and you're becoming a career woman and you're asking yourself so many questions, and they are deep, you cannot stop going back and digging in and exploring your roots. Sometimes the fact that Iran is in this place today, it gives me even more strength and belief that we have fortune, we have so many to give them, because we are free and they are not. And you mentioned 2 albums, and my 3rd album that was out last October, it's a new album called 𝐸𝐻𝐫𝐸, and I literally recorded it. It's a collaboration with Iranian musicians, women and men, and we met in Istanbul. And I'm always telling the people I'm performing to that Iran and Israel cannot meet. So I don't know if you have the chance to go back to Iran now.
I'm sure that would not go over well.
Yeah, because I know that some of the people from Los Angeles, and they're Jewish. I don't know how they managed to go back there, but apparently, the situation is like, I hope it will be fixed soon, but until then we have so much power to send them. And this album 𝐸𝐻𝐫𝐸 was a beautiful journey to understand that there's a lot of hope in little things. Little thing is to have an album and to build this bridge for the love between these 2 extreme crazy countries, and the bridge of giving these beautiful women hope and a place to build their art and to to bring it to the world, it's always mesmerizing me that now these ladies, like for the last 2 months, they are protesting in the streets. You know, they could lost their lives. And at the same time in Europe, you know, the radio stations are you know, using their music, our music, and they're out with the tar, with the strings, with the tombak, with everything. It's out, and it's in the same time they are like wishing for freedom and protesting. It's such a paradox, and I'm always surprised that we're in this situation, that this is really happening, because I have so many believe in these beautiful, courageous ladies.
Yeah, I'm, you know, as a strong, outspoken person, I'm so proud. And like I said, it's giving me renewed faith in Iran and the people of Iran. Before I felt, why do I connect with these people if they didn't stand up for my people? But now I just feel like there's this common humanitarian, female empowering connection that I have with them that
Yeah.
I didn't feel before. And I guess I brought you on as my first guest because I was looking, you know, for inspiration from you to teach me, how do I connect? How do I connect with this land that rejected and didn't protect our people? And so I think for you, it was an easy transition through the music. And for
Yeah.
me, I think, you know, I'm still struggling a little bit, to be honest. I want to support, you know, my brethren. I want to support women in general. But it still hurts a little bit.
I think we have a lot of power that we don't even recognize, meaning that, you know, even if you start following artists or, you know, women in your area, you start follow them, and then they follow you back, and then you're starting to write them, and you're telling the truth. I have the ability to help you and to be your voice. They will say, hell yes, of course.
Yes.
Just, you know, even if you're gathering, I don't know, 100, 200, 500 women and explaining them the situation in Iran, and you post it, and you post it live, and other people sees that, and then I post it, and my friends put, I mean, it could be like, you know, 1 million people who watch your live supporting these courageous ladies, and then it goes on and on. It's very easy because of the social media. I had a couple of interviews on the past 2 months for Iran International, Manoto. It was over 1.5 million views, and a lot of Iranian people, you know, they just shared it because they were so happy that someone is speaking about them. It doesn't matter who you are. You know what I mean? I mean, of course, I dedicated 3 albums to the ladies in Iran and for my belief in their future, in their freedom. So it really linked them to me and me to them back. But it doesn't matter if you have 5 followers or 5 million followers. You have the power to change, because we have so many power to give to each other. Women for sure are going to change the world. It's happening right now, and it's going to be much, much more.
I think there's a certain power to when women speak up and female activism, because we come from a place of doing it for the future, for our daughters, for our sisters.
Yes.
And there is a power to that. So Liraz, I want to tell you, thank you so much for inspiring me. If there is one message that you want to go viral, if there's one message that you want to share with the world, what is that message? It could be anything.
I just want us to say thank you for the people coming to my shows and protesting with big flags. I had a tour now in Germany, and people who are not Iranian at all are waving with Iranian flags of 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐸 Azadi and bringing the message on and on. And this is crazy. I wanted to thank them. And for the people who are listening to Roya album, who is actually honoring these beautiful, courageous ladies. every little step that every one of us will make, it will be amazing. That's the message.
Oh, I love that. For me, again, I want to, like, get your advice. So for me, I feel like a twinge of jealousy, right? That so many people, Jewish, Muslim, American, came out in the protests for Iran, but not even 5% of that showed up for Israel or showed up for the Jewish people. So to me, I think to me that hurts a little bit. And I don't know if it's sort of like a legitimate, or is it selfish? Should I not be thinking that way?
I think the only way to getting through this weird life we're having, and we're living in a weird world, we cannot explain. How can you explain that? You don't have any explanation for this, right? It's overwhelming. I think the best way is to look on the bright side, like the good things that you get in life because you're Jewish, because of your culture, and every step you can make for Israel in your own private way, or your mind, or when you even this podcast, it's very important. I think it's the only way to survive, and to enjoy life as much as we can. And little, revolutions are happening, by the small things. I do believe that. That's the only way for me to create, to think, and to give the message, to bring this message on to my two daughters. I could be activist, feminist, and having a lot of rage in my life. I have the reasons, because I live in a weird country. It's very hard for women here in Israel as well, especially for the one who becomes mothers. We don't have anything that goes with our, making our life easier. Nothing. So I have so many, to complain about, but I'm trying to give them the good example of pursuing my dreams and my agendas, and dancing, singing, rejoicing every moment. I mean, that's the only thing we can do.
I've received a lot of positive messages from Iran, from the Iranian women. And I've received some messages like, why are you speaking up for us? We don't like the Jews.
I got, I don't know, 5 or 6 bad messages in my whole career.
Really?
I don't know why. Really.
Lucky you.
Like the good thing is that people who is choosing to follow me, they're coming on the bright side. I mean, they follow the character, the music, and my tours and everything. We never talk about religious. Even the women that arrived to collaborate in my album, I don't know if they are Jewish, if they are Muslims, I don't care. We don't really talk about it. We don't really talk about it. So the one who wrote like haters messages, I blocked them, but there was so little, very little, thank God, very little. I do feel that Iranian people really loves Israel, and the opposite. They're writing me on a daily basis that they are dying to visit Israel.
Amazing. Well, that gives me a lot of hope.
Yes. Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, I don't blame them. There's a lot of brainwashing, as we know, in a lot of Middle Eastern countries. I don't blame them, but it's still, it should, like you said, these issues should transcend Israel. It should transcend religion. This is a human rights issue, and it's a women's rights issue, and basic rights issue.
Definitely. And I think because they don't see me as a leader or politician, I'm just an artist, so maybe somehow music and art are healing their hearts and giving them the way to look the positive way.
Well, I think you're doing that, Liraz. I think you are healing the world in the way that God has given you the talents to do so. And I think that we get rewarded when we are following in the path of purpose and of serving, in the capacity that we've been gifted to do so.
You're amazing. You too. We have a lot of strength to make something here, you know, to be effective here, and it's a nice thing to see in your closet. I'm just trying to see if I get something, because I'm into fashion too, but I don't see anything. It's like in general.
This is my this is my artistic museum.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it.
Awesome. Well, Liraz, it was so nice to meet you and talk to you and gain inspiration from you and learn from you. I hope that we meet in person soon, whether it's in Tehrangelis or...
Yes, it's going to be in LA soon.
Okay, well, let me know. I would love to have you.
Of course.
All right. Thank you so much.
Be'omid azadi. Bye.
Amen. Bye.
Amen. Bye.